Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? I'm trying a different format today with the recording. I've gone on and recorded the episode and now I'm going to play it back sped up. I feel that we could probably get more covered if we do it like this. So I'm just going to test it. We're going to do the first 5 minutes at double speed. The second 5 minutes will be at treble speed and the final 5 minutes will be at 4 times speed. And then we'll see which one seems to fit best with progressing this game further. I also need to apologise for the sound quality. It might not be quite what it should be. I've had to send my normal headset that I use. It's gone horribly wrong. I did mention this in the Farming Simulator video yesterday, but if you don't watch that particular series that I run and you only watch these, my normal headset has had to be sent back to the manufacturers in Germany for some urgent repairs because it's recording large chunks of white noise and speakers aren't working properly. So I'm probably going to be stuck with this particular headset for the next couple of weeks. So anyway, today I'm starting off, I need to get more iron and I also need to get steel. I want to gather up a whole load of it because we're going to expand further on our oil production. First of all, I'm just double checking sort of everything. I'm going around, topping up, making sure that everything is running smoothly, and I do need to start getting some more steel over towards the solar panels. I'm not going to worry about that today, but I will have to progress that a bit further, probably in the next episode actually. These weren't working properly, but we now have a little factory here that is making us some telegraph poles there, not the steel ones, which we will be able to use for our solar panels. The instant solar panel farm that we've been throwing down. I've had a few suggestions of different formats that I can put for those. I've decided that I will keep the format that I've got for now. I will test some different ones later on, but at the moment I quite like the one I got, mainly because I like the way that it looks. There are various different grids that you can lay out for them. I'm quite pleased with this one, so that's the reason I'm sticking with this one now. It's not necessarily that I don't like the other suggestions. I'm sticking with the one that I've got. We're going to make a load of pump jacks. I've got a couple here that are already. I'm going to make a load more, and we're going to have pump jack on each and every single one of these oil fields. And then we're going to expand the oil operation. I'm thinking for now I will probably keep the one down the bottom. I've got a single refinery down there. We're going to put more refineries up here because then we're not going to have to pipe the oil anywhere, and we've got a lot more room up here, so we can expand on the sort of the area a lot more, and anything that requires the oil for production, we can, for piping in, like the advanced processing units, the purple ones, we'll be able to use. We'll put the factories down up there, right next to where the sulfuric acid comes out, and we can also increase our battery production. We may eventually start piping the oil that we get from the pump jacks that we've got over here back over towards our bigger refinery area. Just for a minute, I'm going to tidy up these because we don't actually need these anymore. We've got all these gun turrets around everywhere. We don't need those at all anymore. We've got all the lasers along the external bases. We might use this ammunition somewhere else, but I gotta be honest, I think it's fairly unlikely. This is one little niggling thing that I'm not so fond of with this game, is once you've made something, there's no way to unmake it. I would like a recycling plant that, maybe you get back half the materials or something like that. So all these thousands of bullets that I've got that I'm not actually going to be using from now on, I'd be able to chuck them into a recycling plant and get them all back. That would be absolutely fantastic. We'll just gather up this little bit of stone that is lying around there. And our furnace down here is doing quite nicely, making us a whole load of walls. I'll probably stash away a load of just a stone as well for a few spare furnaces if we want it. Not quite sure about that just yet. I love the way these robots come out. All of those little ones coming out like that. It's absolutely fantastic. We'll do a bigger chunk in a minute. What I am going to do later on, I think I mentioned this in the previous episode, someone did say to me, Apprentice Doge, I think is how you pronounce his second part of his name. He does like watching my videos, and he was saying how awesome it looks when you have hundreds of robots all whip out and grab a load of trees in a big well-populated forest. I will be doing that. I'm going to try and get a couple of thousand robots, the construction robots that pick up and put down, and we're going to have a huge chunk of forest, and we're going to have the whole lot whipped out all at once. It is going to look fan-schmabulous. I'm also going to be starting concrete construction soon, although the concrete does require iron ore, so that's why I haven't done it yet, because we do have a little bit of a shortage of this. We're starting slowly to sort of cure our problem, our major shortages that we had with the iron. It is starting to fill back up again. We will keep working on this. We've got more patches of iron ore that we can start tapping into, so we should be able to cure all of this. Partly the main reason, well, I'd say partly the main reason that we haven't expanded too much on the iron just yet is because of our power shortages. It's sort of a fine balance. Because we've got all these laser turrets everywhere, we've got to be very careful that we don't overextend ourselves with the iron production. I'm wanting to move away from steel furnaces. I'd like to have electric furnaces. It is a little more costly with the power, but it does mean that we don't have to rely on getting a fuel source in, which does make a big difference. I am making a little bit more room here just for another furnace, which means that we should be able to get another steel furnace down as well. So I'm hoping that we can just increase the speed that we're producing the steel ever so slightly. We're now on 3 times playback, by the way. We have been for a little while, and this seems to be coming along. I quite like this. This seems to be a good speed to play everything back. I set the 2 furnaces going, and then I completely forget about them because of all the other stuff, and I'm easily distracted, as you probably already know. So we'll get down the rest of these pump jacks a minute. I've just got to wait for one more, and put that one down. Oh no, I need 2 more actually. We get those down there, and join up with all the pipes, and then we can put in some orders to make some refineries and probably a couple of chemical plants as well. I'm going to try out the car, take it for a nice little spin. We're going to go for a bit of a drive around, see what else. There's a little bit more oil over there. Got all the trees. We've been getting a load of attacks incoming over here, and I did forget to finish that tiny little bit of wall down there because I ran out, if you remember, when I was building it. But overall, I mean, we've got that huge patch of iron there. That's the only damage that we've taken, is that one up in the corner. So we are doing really well. The defense system is working really well. I'm quite pleased with that. And I don't think we need to worry about expansion too much just for a little while. We can concentrate on really building up our base in here. And I mean, to be honest, with everything that we do have, I don't think we're going to need to expand all that much further. Well, I say probably, we might need to go out chasing just a few more of the alien artifacts so that we can finish this off once and for all. But we are now getting very close to being able to launch our rocket. We don't have much research left to do. As soon as this productivity module 3 is finished, I'm going to start working on the rocket damage. I think it's the rocket damage. You've got to do 5 levels in that one. And then I think that is just about everything that we need unlocked, so that we can start producing or start researching the rocket. And like I said, once I've launched the rocket from this map, I was thinking of moving over to the other Frithgar's Factorio factor that I had running there. I'm thinking of moving over to that one, and then we can start going for a mega base where we don't have to worry about constant attacks coming in. Now what I was doing here was I was actually moving the conveyor belt around a bit because I want to put a chest down where I can start collecting up some of this pipe, because we're going to need quite a bit of it. I didn't actually need to move the conveyor belt around at the top. I've just needed to pop in that smart inserter there and set it on a limit. So I'm limiting it to 500 pipes. There we go. Limit that to 500. That will fill that up. And that will enable me to keep a constant supply of pipes on me for the larger oil production and several refineries all in a row. In order to make it work effectively, you need a lot of underground pipes, and you're probably aware that making the underground pipes uses a huge amount of regular pipes. So I'm going to have to make a massive amount of regular pipes, keep a constant supply coming into me so that I can make all of the underground pipes. And you'll see what I mean in a minute. Once I start making them, I need a load more steel first, so I gather up all of this. It's probably enough for now. And did I actually remember to put down the steel furnaces? I don't think I did. No, I'm making some tanks. We need a lot of tanks. For this to work effectively, you use quite a lot of storage tanks. I use 6 storage tanks for storing the raw oil in, the crude oil. Then I'll put in 6 storage tanks for each of the petroleum, the heavy oil, and the light oil. And what we'll do is we will crack the light oil down to petroleum, and we will keep the petroleum. The heavy oil, we will partly turn that into lubricant, although we don't need masses of lubricant. And then anything that's left over will get converted into the fuel blocks. You need some fuel blocks for... Fuel blocks are good for running trains, although we're not really going to be using much trains in this particular map. We'll start working on those when we move over to our other maps so that we can begin our mega factory. And then you also use fuel blocks in the rocket. Don't really use a lot for fuel blocks elsewhere. I've always favoured the electric furnace since I've started playing this. I really favour the electric furnace because, well, solar panels are kind of unlimited, really. You know, once they're down, they're down. You don't have to worry about constant supplies of fuel or anything like that. So electric furnaces work on the same principle. You get the solar panels down to power them, and you're done. You don't need to worry about anything else. So really, the only thing I can think of that would take the fuel blocks would be the trains, which will need them, and the rocket. And you're only going to launch the one rocket unless they change something later on and add something else. But you see what I mean with the... I think we've gone on to 4 times speed actually now. We've sped up a bit more. This is why you need so many underground pipes, so that it doesn't start... You don't get the pipes connecting to each other. I'm just going to go and get the power back over. And you'll also... I think possibly the 4 times speed here is just a little bit too fast to see details. I mean, let me know what you think in the comments down below. But I'm thinking that perhaps we will stick to 3 times speed. I will do that for the rest of the episodes. But if you can see here, I effectively sort of formed T-junctions on the end of each of the sets of pipes. And the reason I do that is because then no pipes will cross over each other, and it keeps all of the oils and the petroleum separate. So the 3 outputs for the heavy oil are all linked together, as are the light oil and is the petroleum. And it's the same with the inputs on the other side. Then I can take them out of one side and put them to whichever set of storage tanks that I want to, and everything should work well. And you've just seen there I put up the rockets. I started researching those. We've got to get 5 levels of those, and then we'll be free to research the is it the rocket silo? Yeah, the rocket shooting speed is the one that's researching right now, but then we'll be free to do the launch, the rocket launch thing, and then we can start building it. But to build that, we need a huge amount of resources. From what I've seen, I've never actually made one yet. I've played several other maps, and I sort of play on ahead and try to learn a little bit about the game so that I can show you as we go along rather than learning like I did at the very beginning. You know, that worked at the start, but this game's a bit too complicated for me to continue doing that. So I'm making 3 sets of tanks here, and I'll make a couple of chemical plants there. This is so that I can put the light oil, and I think I've actually made a slight mistake here doing this. I think I should have put the petroleum further down, but I think, you know, this will be alright. This will work alright. I'm going to have the light oil going into those tanks directly above the chemical plants there. Then the petroleum is going to come out into these tanks over here. And once the light oil is cracked, that will also then flow back to those tanks as well. And that means I'll be able to run out any petroleum that I want to production systems further down. Light oil isn't needed for anything other than cracking down to the petroleum. And then the heavy oil over on the side, that's the one that we're going to be turning into lubricant. But you see I'm doing that T-junction thing here again. You've got to make sure that you put your refineries and your chemical plants 1 space apart. You've got to have a gap of 1 so that this will work. You cannot do it if you have them side by side, because the pipes will link up, and then it sort of... If you link up the pipes, one of the products gets essentially deleted and the other one will take its place. I'm not really sure how that works. But anyway, I think that is just about everything. We're running out of time. So thank you very much for watching, folks. If you enjoyed this video, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, please tell your friends about me. Remember, tell me which speed you prefer. Was it the 2 times, the 3 times, or the 4 times? And I did 5 minutes of each. I'm leaning towards 3 times speed, so the other 2 videos for this week I'll record at 3 times speed. If you would like me to do it differently, then please let me know, and I will adapt to suit what you guys want. But thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.